This is Zach Wasserman, CTO of Fleet, here with a demo of Fleet's command line tool, Fleetctl, and the REST API. So we can easily install Fleetctl with npm, or we can install it from binaries available on Fleet's GitHub release page. So when we run Fleetctl from that npm installation, there will just be a quick install step, and then we can see all the help output for Fleetctl. Now we can do things like get hosts. This is going to return a listing of all the hosts enrolled in our environment. And we can get this in JSON if that's more useful. Great for parsing with shell scripts and other command line tools. We can do things like run queries. So we'll use the query command. We'll target all the hosts in our fleet, and we'll run the query that will retrieve processes that are using a lot of CPU time on our systems. And I'm just going to tee the results of this to a file, which means we'll be able to see the output both in the shell and also in that file afterwards for further analysis. So when we run this, we will see that we start getting results almost immediately, and Fleetctl reports the status of which hosts have responded. So I'm just going to kill this now, and we can see the results are in a file there. We can use tools like JQ to pretty print and parse those. And something that I think is really cool is how you can combine this with standard Unix tools to start to do analysis. So let's say I want to get the name of all of those. Here's some names. And now if I wanted to do some kind of aggregations, I can do things like sort and then pipe it into the unique tool. And now I see that, for example, Windows Server is using a lot of that CPU time, and that's probably on all of our Mac systems. Now we can also do things like manage the queries on our systems. So we can do get queries, and we'll just ask you for this in the YAML format. And we'll write this to a file so that we can edit this. So now I'll just open this up in my text editor. And we'll go ahead and modify the query that we have here. So let's say we just want the non-removable USB devices. Now we can apply this configuration file, and Fleet will apply all of the queries that are there. We can see if we go into the UI that we pull up that query and the edits that we made are visible in the UI. Now I think it's really important to see how this can interact with a GitOps kind of workflow, and you can imagine running these Fleetctl apply commands in your CI, perhaps after if someone has code reviewed new configurations or new queries for your devices. This is really cool how this allows you to connect things up. And now the other thing that I'd like to look at is the Fleet REST API. So this is documented in Fleet's documentation, fleetdm.com/docs. And we can see that across all these different entities, there are a number of API endpoints. For example, policies. We can list policies. We can get them. We can get hosts. And this is an example that I'd like to check out on the command line. So first, we'll come into the Fleet UI. Since I'm logged in via SSO, I need to come here to grab my API key. And so I'll go to my account, get API token, and copy that. And now I'm going to export that into my shell environment so that I can use that in my curl requests. And this pb paste command is just a cool macOS tool that allows you to get the value from your clipboard. So now we can run a curl, And we'll just set the authorization header appropriately. And there's a listing of all the hosts returning JSON. So you can imagine this kind of thing doesn't just have to be with curl. This could be from any programming language you like. And this allows some really powerful integrations. In particular, folks have been using this to pull data out of the Fleet API to use it for decision making in their Beyond Corp authorization schemes, and lots of other cool stuff enabling really amazing automations in the security and IT parts of organizations. So give these things a try and let us know what you think.